Welcome to Whose Review Matters Anyway, the podcast where its agenda is made up and our reviews probably don't matter, just like a release date given to Morbius movie.
Get sued.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year. But seriously, no matter what release date that movie gets, it's going to get delayed again.
Is it that bad?
I think there was an article that talked about how it compared to New Mutants, this has been delayed more than New Mutants was delayed.
No.
Oh man,
Because it got pushed back now to April 1st.
April 1st. I mean,
April Fools.
Well, that's what people thought, and then I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what bullshit article am I reading? And then I there's other headlines talking about it. I'm like, oh, this isn't just an April Fool's joke. I mean, this is a legit thing. But it's really weird that we literally almost got the movie in 2 weeks?
Almost 2 weeks, pretty much, yeah.
And then they decide to push it back all the way to April, which for fair reason, COVID outbreaks increasing because of the whole Christmas break and everything. So
I don't think it's COVID related.
Really? What do you think it is?
I mean, why is that movie the only one getting pushed back then?
Because it's Sony and they're like, you know what, we don't feel like going to work, so we're going to call out.
What other major movies coming out though?
Scream.
No one cares for that movie.
Nobody cares about that movie. I'm a horror fan and nobody even fucking cares about that movie.
This guy's a horror fan. Let me see.
That movie is going to be. Listen, I'm already predicting that movie is going to be very bad, or just I don't know. It's not going to be good. It's not a major movie, and nobody even fucking asked for another Scream movie.
Well, we saw Sing 2 come out. Nightmare Alley, the new Guillermo del Toro movie. I mean, what else? What else you guys want?
But I mean, like nothing.
I don't even know her name.
So here's the thing, though, right? We are just coming off the Spider-Man No Way Home high, where people know that now multiverse is a shit. It's like a real deal here, and that things legitimately happen. So when you put shit in Morbius trailer, like Michael Keaton or the Sam Raimi Spider-Man symbol, logo, or whatever, and all these other things that connect to that movie, you're gonna draw in huge crowds. No one's running to the theater to go see Sing 2. Did either of you see it? Probably not.
Did you see it?
I did because I had kids, but I wasn't running to the door to go see it because it was already been out for a couple weeks.
Yeah, Ham. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I don't know who's running to go see Morbius. I don't think a lot of people are really wanting to see Morbius. They just have to.
Well, new rumors have come out. New rumor reports, right? One speculating, of course. I'm in the same boat with Sal that it might be COVID related, and then they probably might use this just to push it back, or as the rumors I've been reading, that Andrew Garfield is going to have a cameo in the Morbius movie, and that's the reason why they pushed it back to include him in the movie.
Now you just
we're done talking about this movie now. You killed the mood for it.
No. It's just rumors reporting. I'm not agreeing with it or anything.
But you're excited for it, right? I hear it in your voice. You're like, oh, this is gonna be cool. We see Andrew Garfield and Morbius.
But why would I be excited for it if we see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man poster on the wall? That makes no fucking sense.
In the last episode, you were like, hashtag make Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do want Amazing Spider-Man 3, but I don't want
there you go. Morbius is Amazing Spider-Man 3.
I mean, I would like for Sam Raimi to direct Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield. Boom. They both get
weird.
But think about it. They'll both get a do-over of a third movie.
Speaking of do-overs, let's talk about our new branding.
Yay!
No,
you like that transition, don't you?
I was looking for something there. Welcome, listeners, to our rebranding of the podcast, where obviously, no matter what we do, though, hopefully we don't get sued. This is a parody off of Whose Line Is It Anyway, because I've always did that bit in the beginning. And actually, this title was more inspired by Ham, because as I was listening to our last episode, editing it, I was thinking none of the reviews that Ham gave last year actually legitimately don't matter. Because we have no clue what he truly meant when he talked about his movies.
That's kind of true.
And so that's what made me think, oh, whose review matters anyway? Ham's definitely not at this point. Mike, me, I don't know. I just rant. I bitch a lot, so I don't really care.
That's
But you can listen to all three of our takes now and just decide whose review is actually legitimate,
I have a lot of
assuming that we
important things to say.
disagree on these movies.
true.
Yeah, we usually. Well, I don't know. I would say last year we were honestly in the middle of agreeing comparing to the year before on a lot of movies.
Fuck if I know. That sounds right.
I get. I don't know. I know I gave more yellows, I think, to movies than any of you guys. I think
I think I gave more breads.
that sounds about right.
I think there was a month where I gave nothing but 4 reds in a row.
Mm.
I believe so. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy for this new branding. I think it's a lot better, and I think it this title alone just speaks for itself of what we are trying to do,
Yeah.
instead of drunk cop and a teacher.
Have fun. Have fun with the ending. All right, Mike.
Oh, were you?
Oh
Yeah, yeah.
fuck!
We're going through all the social crap.
Another rebrand coming up, guys.
All right. Well, just quickly, kind of catching up on some stuff. Mike is dying.
Yeah,
He's
I got
got
the
COVID for like the 16,000th time.
I got COVID again, guys. It's just be safe out there, and just just be safe. That's all I'm going to say. But no, it's not fun. I think I already went through the worst part of it already. I fully got like full strength now, and I got no body aches, thank God. So right now I'm just recovering. I'm doing good. I saw a couple things. Um, there's a show that my wife got me to watch. We were watching season 2 right now in the middle of it, and she's watching it without me because of you assholes. Um, Emily in Paris is actually really funny. I like it a lot. It's
How is it our fault?
because we had to do a podcast, like this. We were in the middle of watching it,
Okay.
so I was gonna say it's their fault. Just you, Ham,
Yeah,
specifically you.
because you love that show.
I mean, yeah, it's a really good show. It's funny. I
Emily.
mean, I highly recommend it for anybody who's gonna watch it. It's like a dumb drama, funny show, and a lot of characters are likable and everything.
What's it
Uh,
called? Emily in Paradise?
Emily in Paris.
Oh, Emily in Paris.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a chick. It's like a chick
What is
flick.
that on again?
It's on Netflix, but it's
Uh,
MTV production.
oh, okay. Maybe that's why I saw.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's actually I don't know how it's really it's an enjoyable show.
I,
Um,
actually, you said MTV production. There was something not too long ago. I think that was an MTV production that
it
I
was
think we
Scream.
saw.
There's the one that I know MTV they did the Scream
Yeah, no,
series,
something newish.
something like that.
Okay.
Um, other than that, I saw Encanto again.
Okay.
It's okay. Like I said, I still gonna give him my yellow card with that, and nothing much, just recovering. What about you, Ham? What have you been up to? How was your New Year's?
Uh,
Definitely not getting COVID. That's for sure.
For sure.
not getting around. It's fine. I mean, went out to a bar like usual, and then went to somebody's house and played some pong. I'll let you guess what kind of pong, but same old, same old. And then Happy New Year's.
Well, this is a great way to start the New
I
Year's
know, right?
podcast.
Ham's got all the energy sucked out of us.
All right, or something like that. Uh,
Take off your shirt. You might have some more energy.
what? No, they also had the projector out, so they were projecting on the garage, and we saw the countdown. For some reason, someone kept saying, "Dick Cheney. We gotta find the Dick Cheney countdown." I'm like, "What? You drunk?" Because it's the Dick Clark. So
Oh, okay.
he kept saying Dick Cheney. I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So it was interesting. There was, what's her name? The other guy. Yeah. Did anybody watch it?
No,
no, I didn't watch the
no,
ball drop.
no.
No,
I didn't.
I slept.
I think there was a Miley Cyrus.
Wardrobe malfunction. I saw that on the internet.
Keep watch it.
Damn.
Other than that, I finished the last season of the last OG with Tracy Morgan. I've noticed the pattern that the last episode is always a very serious episode. Everybody usually something happens in tra- uh,
Yeah.
uh, I'm on my second to last episode of the new season of Dexter, New Blood, and
hmm
I think it's good. I think it could maybe do a next uh
You know,
way it goes.
you mentioned something of a pattern. I've actually noticed something of a pattern myself, but with Netflix movies.
Well,
I know it sounds weird, right? The other day I forgot what movie we were watching, right? It'll probably come up to me when I talk about it. So Netflix movies always have like a specific pattern to each and every one of their movies exclusive is where it's like the beginning of the movie it's all happy, it's all like, I don't know, colory and stuff like that, and then like they introduce some sort of bad guy, and then like the whole continuation of the whole entire movie is sort of like, I don't know, it's just random shit, and then the ending is just like supposed to be the conclusion of the bad guy, and then the movie ends.
so
I don't know if that's kind of a pattern because when you said that, I'm thinking fatherhood. Yeah, that's a Netflix movie, right?
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
that I don't know how that follows that pattern.
I mean, not. I mean, my bad. I mean, not bad guy, but it's sort of like it's supposed to be like a cheerful, like friendly stuff, and then there's always one little hiccup, and then there's always like that random stuff of just like random shit happening where it's like good and bad, and then the ending is just like, oh, just random stuff. Like let it be like sort of a mid happy ending.
I don't know. I didn't really. I don't really notice that. I don't
I don't
know.
know. Just watch like Love Hard or Fatherhood. Oh my god, I forgot what was the other movie. Even Cobra Kai even had some parts of it. We'll talk about
Well,
that in a minute.
Cobra Kai is different though. Like, I feel like that's intentional. Like, oh well, yeah, we'll talk about it when we get there.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, but I don't know. That's the certain patterns of movies, at least I've seen, of how Netflix writing is.
Hmm. All right,
uh,
Ham. Did you watch anything else?
uh that that not bad.
Dot your I's, cross your T's.
Yeah, I'll mention one more if I remember any.
All right, fair enough. Um,
Okay.
I did see Sing 2 because my kids wanted to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's only because I'm old and I have kids that I start to appreciate animated movies more. Like Sing 2 is not that bad of a movie. I actually enjoyed it, but I'll tell you this, if you don't watch the first one, then the interactions between the characters are not going to mean shit.
Really?
Wait, when
Yeah,
did Sing
it's
One
like
came out?
I don't remember.
I didn't
It's been
even
a
know a
few years
Sing came
back,
out.
but
Yeah, I saw it.
like Sing 1 did a really good job like displaying each character and their problems and like kind of overcoming what was happening to them, and it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it and the songs were awesome. But Sing 2 just kind of like automatically just has them already doing like shit together. Like they're like you can tell they've been working with each other for so long. So if you don't see the first one, you're kind of like, well, what the hell? Why is this gorilla working with this pig, or why is this elephant like hanging out with them? Like it's really weird out of context.
I like
Like
over when movies do the opposite, and you're like, well, what the fuck? Uh,
maybe, but I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Also, very big names.
Yes, as usual, yes. I saw Encanto for probably the 627th time.
Nice.
My kids are obsessed with it. to the point where they're starting to memorize the words to some of the songs, both my daughter and my son.
Wow.
And it only took my third time watching the movie, but I sat down and I watched it again, and I'm gonna pull a ham. I'm gonna sober up a little bit,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna give Encanto a green card.
Oh.
I really like the movie, and it's definitely the music that carries a lot of the movie. I think the only thing that sticks out from that movie that should either be reworked or just cut out completely is Maribel's like adventure through Bruno's room.
Yeah.
That whole scene, that whole sequence is extremely out of place for me. And if you were to cut that out, I think like the entire movie just works as it is.
Mm.
Um, and there's a lot more details in the movie that I don't think like people really kind of give credit for. Like the animation to everything, including the clothes and stuff, is really
Oh,
good.
that's good animation. I know that much.
Yeah, yeah, I think we mentioned that. We all gave credit to that.
So like I don't know what my problem was when I first watched the movie, but I don't think I think it's better than what I initially like called it out to be for. So I'm gonna
Well,
bump it
yeah.
up to a green card, and I still love the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack. I almost want to say it makes into like one of my top 10 movie soundtracks of all time because it's just I love the beats to it. Like Lin Manuel Miranda like writes really good music, and he did it really well on this one.
Got you. Listeners, go to our episode of Encanto. Let us know what you guys think about it, and I don't know. Write us down in the comments of what you also think. Have you guys seen it 100 times like Sal?
I'm trying to think if I watched anything else. I feel like I watched one other thing. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sure I'll probably do pull a ham and just remember it later. But
I'm
we'll,
about to
we'll
pull a hand right now. The movie that I was trying to
Why
mention
do
on
you
Netflix.
put on me?
I'm trying to pull. I'm gonna pull you. The movie that I was trying to mention on Netflix was Night Teeth.
Night Teeth.
Yeah, it's a chauffeur that he drives to vampire girls, and he doesn't know it until like in the middle of the movie, and then everything goes crazy from there.
Maybe something I'll watch.
Well, I don't I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I would give it a green card. I liked it a lot. It was like nothing a serious movie, but it was just fun.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay. All right, listeners. We got a few things lined up to talk about. The first two are going to be extremely brief, though, because there's no in-depth review of things that we need to get into. Because I'm the only one that finished playing Halo, so I guess my opinion's only really going to matter here for that. But maybe Ham can start chiming in on the multiplayer stuff when I start talking about it. And then after that, we're going to talk about initial impressions about the Book of Boba Fett. I don't know if we want to give initial impressions off just the first episode or based off the two episodes that have already been out. I don't know what your guys' take on
I,
that is.
I thought I didn't know we were gonna do the second one.
Okay, then we'll do initial impressions off the first episode.
Mike, see the
Oh,
second
I've only seen the first one.
one?
Sorry.
I'm not.
That's fine. That's fine. And then we'll end it with our main, I guess, main event, which is going to be Cobra Kai
I
season
did
4,
finish that. Yes, yes, I
which,
definitely finished that.
which I guess all of us kept forgetting that show was
Yep.
even going to pop up.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even see a trailer for Cobra Kai.
I think you're right.
I do remember there being a trailer announced, but it was very subtle. It was like a very low key thing that
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, the Cobra Kai season 4 trailer is out." So
Mm.
that I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and start talking. Halo Infinite, $60 campaign, and really that's what the question is going to come down to: is it worth the $60? Because remember, the multiplayer is separate and it is free to play. So I'm not going to talk about the multiplayer, even though I want to touch base on that later and see what Ham thinks about it now. But as far as the Halo Infinite campaign, I can tell you right now, a lot of people probably won't think it's worth the $60.
Red card.
The campaign is somewhat short, although if you do all the open world stuff, that is probably where most of the time is spent in the game. Kind of going through and rescuing your squads, unlocking what they call FOBs, basically like your outposts. And then there's the banished outpost to take down and to kind of destroy like their operations. So there's a lot of stuff to do in the open world. The only issue though with the game is that there's a lot of, it definitely feels that there's not enough content, or that there was definitely content cut out. And there was confirmation apparently later on that we find out that 2/3 of the campaign was actually cut out from the launch, from the initial release.
Oh
Good job,
man.
guys. It took you got an extra year, and yeah, okay, cool.
No, DLC.
If you say DLC, I'm DLC all over somebody's face.
People keep bringing up DLC, and I'm sure they will do DLC. But what's gonna piss me off is if they don't offer it for free, because it doesn't feel right to have to pay for that extra content when it's supposed to already be there.
Is that rumor or has that been confirmed?
It's just a rumor.
No,
Like there's
you've heard.
nothing. Although here's what I will say though: the map, as cool as it is to explore it, there are sections of the map you can't even access. Like it's completely blocked. Even though there's like you'll see on the map, there's like a whole island that you should be able to land on. Once you get even remotely close to it, you get that warning saying, "Hey, get back to back to where you came from, otherwise you're gonna die in like 10 seconds." So it's like it's obvious that you're supposed to have been you're supposed to go there at some point, but the campaign isn't fully finished, so it doesn't let you be there.
I'm gonna.
Now, as far as that, now that that's out of the way, though, the gameplay itself is a lot of fun. Like I don't, it feels classic Halo. It feels nice to learn these new weapons, and it doesn't like force you to stick to a particular weapon, because what's cool about the open world is that it's littered with all sorts of variations of these weapons that you can just kind of pick and choose from. So
Yeah,
when you clear a squad, you can like switch out your assault rifle for a sniper rifle that you may have found there. Or when you go to a banished outpost, you can swap out your pistol that you had and get one of the banished weapons, one of the carbines or whatever. Like there's like the sandbox for this game is just, I think they definitely did it the best here in this one out of all the Halo games combined. Like this one has so much variation and so much fun to it, and the grappling hook does not get like annoying or in the way at all. Like it just, for me, it became something that I constantly wanted to do, that I wanted to grapple here and go explore there. um and I love the detail that they put on the map as far as like where these outposts are. And if you like go kind of like towards the mountains, like from these banished outposts, there's like these little areas where you find the logs, but these are where like Marines were like surveying the post. And so the log is about what happened to them when they arrived there, or if they got caught, or whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of backstory to this game that they add in through the audio logs. It's really fun to explore. The only two things that I don't think this game is gonna get enough credit for from casual players is the like the just the sound design for the game itself, with along with the music. So I'm going to include music on that, and the actual visuals to the game. I think the graphics are probably the best I've seen in a Halo game, and the sound design is the best I've heard in a Halo game. And that sound design goes from like you switching weapons to the grappling hook, sticking onto something that is very heavy and cumbersome, or something that is light. Like there is a distinct difference in the sound there, in the areas that you go to, whether it's a banished outpost or a like sort of forerunner area, versus like going through a swamp, or in sort of like these caves. Like they did a lot of work on the sound, and for me, it immersed me in the area. Again, though, the only downfall to this whole thing is that it feels relatively short when you just go through mission by mission, because you can probably go through mission by mission just alone. I think someone said that in a review that you only really technically have to do two of those friendly outposts, and that's it. You don't have to do anything else that's the rest of the open world, and you can just finish the rest of the game. So it's kind of a mixed bag for a lot of people. For me, I would almost say that this is my either second or third favorite Halo game out of all the Halo
Oh,
games.
but that's putting it right down the middle. Then maybe if you say third.
Well, because like Halo 2, I don't think anything's ever going to beat Halo 2 for me. And
Okay.
that's because it felt like a complete package. Not just the campaign, but you also had the multiplayer with it, which had a lot of maps that had a lot of DLC with it. And it felt complete.
Right.
My second favorite Halo game, I don't know, it's kind of tough. I would almost say that it's either Halo Infinite or Halo Combat Evolved, the classic original first Halo.
All right.
Um, but it's just I don't know. This game is really good.
Do you think
I
Halo
just
Reach is better or Infinite?
Oh wait, I actually now got to think about this order again because
Yeah.
ODST. I forgot about ODST. No, I think Reach is a good game, but I don't know. Like I don't know how else much more to explain it. Just
It's because you
Halo
read the book
Infinite
and
Halo Infinite hits different in a way that it feels so natural because you've played all the Halo games before, so it feels familiar, but it's cool to kind of have that feeling when you're exploring new areas that you've not seen before and have to deal with new weapons that you haven't used before. So it's just like a really well balanced mix of those two kind of auras or two kind of feelings there.
True, true. Will you say this then? Like, because you know how there's different type of Halos with ODST and Halo Reach. Is this one of like the top three favorite Master Chief story games? I guess.
This is definitely very heavily centered on Master Chief, especially on his like almost on his like emotion, like psychological well-being, because it brings up previous characters and kind of like their connection to them. Um, this is it's very much all about Master Chief. So it's not like a spin-off or side series. It doesn't feel like that at all. This is definitely a main line. Like this is the next chapter in Master Chief's saga.
Is is this Frank Guillermo a playable character or no?
Frank Guillermo?
No, Guillermo, that Spanish guy, the one that was in the ship with him, the one that we saw in the gameplay. I called him Guillermo because he looks like a Guillermo.
He's not a playable character, no.
Ah, fucking red card.
He has a sort of interesting backstory that you kind of don't see coming, but it makes sense now, like thinking back on everything that you've been leading up to. But it's kind of weird because he's actually not a he doesn't have a connection to any other character in any sort of lore of Halo. He's actually an original new character. So
Mm.
when he reveals what his name is at the end of the game, it's kind of like anticlimactic because it's like, oh, who? And then you just kind of move on from there.
so he was a.
So,
All right, got it.
um, I'm trying to think what else I can say. It's just good. It's good. I think it's worth getting, especially if you have Games Pass, of course. I just don't think people are going to be happy with the $60 that they spent because
20 bucks.
if for people like it has to have a long gameplay to it. But for me, I think what lacked in content, I got back in the sound design, the music, and the graphics for the game. And
Right.
for that made the $60 for me.
Red card. Do you think people will be more satisfied if the game goes down to like $40 or 45,
Probably,
and
yeah,
and then it'll be
yeah,
worth getting just for the story?
yeah. I would say so. 40 is definitely a yes. Like you might as well get it for
Right.
$40. Yeah.
What about you, Ham? How much will you pay for it? Like being serious,
I
not
recommend get the cheapest Game Pass you can find and just hit that out of the park real quick. Uh, whatever. How much? What is it? The monthly?
Actually, yeah, that's not a bad idea. It's like $15 for the month.
Yeah. So
And
there.
that was my argument before too. It's like if Mike wanted to play it, all he has to do is pay $15 and then he can just play that game along with any other game.
Yeah.
okay.
Uh,
Now,
spoilers, just in case. Halo game spoilers. 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 What I remember last doing was the tower or
there's a tower in the game.
well, it's called the tower. So, uh, was the tower the same thing as the the lift where you have to like blow up the energy thing to use the lift to go up the thing? Is that the same thing?
I don't think so. There was because there's like a not a base, but like some sort of operational headquarters of some kind that you had to use a lift to go up into, and it
Okay.
was kind of like a prison cell inside.
Yeah.
And then there's another area later in the game where you do have to use a lift, but you're going into a forerunner structure.
Okay. I just did the one where well, maybe two different things. I beat the elite that turned invisible.
Yeah, so that's like the first kind of well, one of the earlier bosses of the game.
Well, technically, wasn't the earlier boss the one that let us out into the open?
Yeah, well, it's I said one of the earlier ones
Okay.
because it's weird. Well, when we talk bosses, it's weird because bosses are actually another like additional line of quests that you pursue on the open world. That's one thing I wish I can get more into. I really like the idea of these bosses that they put throughout the map because they're not the same boss every time. They could be a brute, they could be an elite, they could be a jackal, they could be a grunt, but it's
Hey,
like
spoiler.
they all have like different variations in weapons, but also some of them could be in vehicles. And that was like the weird twist to me. It's like, oh crap, like it's I'm going to a boss and I don't know exactly what I'm pursuing until I get closer there and I hear more about the data behind it. It's like, okay, how do I approach this? So I really like the boss encounters in the game.
Will you say that it's? I mean, I'm already guessing it is, but for a 2021 game, is that the best game for you in that year, like Halo ish? If that made whatever the fuck I said make sense. I have COVID.
That made sense. I'm saying.
Is it the best game I played that year? I don't know. I got to think back on all the games I played. I don't think I really played that much.
Nope. I played.
Got you. So it is the best game you played.
Nope, because I played Fallout 76 that year. So nope.
I
Oh
do really
god.
want to talk really quick about multiplayer because I want to get Ham's input. I haven't really heard him say anything positive about it, but they did change. We did talk about how they changed the progressions a little bit. Where now, if you play 6 matches in a day, you're automatically leveled like one up because they scaffolded the XP that way. And then anything after 6 matches, you still just get the basic 50 XP. The challenges, the weekly challenges got easier and they it seems like they upped the XP more. Now, keep in mind, I did buy the battle pass, but I did not buy any like sort of
Yeah, he
XP
bought the
grants.
battle pass.
He bought the
Um,
NFT.
I don't get me started. Uh, I didn't buy anything to help me level up. And after what about not even we're still not even a full month in,
Yeah,
almost a
we
month.
are.
Um, 8th January 8th will be a
That's
month.
when the
Uh, I am at
came out,
level
not the multiplayer.
I am at level 81. I know I hit 80, but I'm at level 81 already.
No, what I'm saying is the campaign came out the 8th, not the multiplayer.
Oh, true, true, true. Okay, well that was like a almost like a couple weeks.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah.
One or two.
But still the season's supposed to end in May and it's only January and I'm already at 80. So I should technically be done with the battle pass by the at the latest by the end of February. So
I'd say
I
probably
don't
at the end of this month you'd probably be done.
yeah, most likely. I just I I don't know if maybe I became complacent, but I'm okay now with the progression. Seeing that how much XP I'm getting, it's like okay, I don't have to worry about the battle pass then, and that has let me kind of enjoy the gameplay more. And whether it's I'm playing Tactical Slayer or Fiesta or Quick Play or whatever, like I'm enjoying playing just the matches more than focusing on my challenges and things like that.
Yeah,
The
but
only thing I would ask for is if I could still have the ability to rearrange the challenges I pursue. Otherwise, I I think the multiplayer is good. It is lacking content.
yeah,
Yes, it needs more game
yes,
types,
yes.
but I don't
Hap-
think I don't think the progression is an issue anymore. But
But
I
what
haven't heard
about
Ham say anything positive about it at all, so I don't know how he really
well
feels.
before Ham says anything? I'm so sorry, Ham, to cut you off. Not. But I
It will be.
I know you mentioned that you bought the battle pass, and since you bought the battle pass, it makes life a little bit much easier for Halo. But what about the people who don't want to put money into the game, just wants to play multiplayer, and still wants to do a progression in the game? What about those people? You think it's still fair for them, or is it?
It all comes down to a cosmetic thing, though. That's the thing. Like, if you really truly care about what your character looks, then yeah, I guess you're gonna bitch and complain about the money and how much you have to pay for this and that. I don't think the monetization is fair at all. I think it's ridiculously like outrageous how much they're charging for the shit.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I haven't spent a single dollar in that shop. I've literally only spent the $9 in the battle pass, and that is it. I haven't coughed up any extra money, which is weird for me to say because I remember a long time ago saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm willing to cough up money. I want to buy this and that." But no, I just don't care. I don't care for cat ears. I don't care for the color orange. I don't care for a single like little keychain. Like the AI that they introduced
Hmm.
was really cool. It's a kind of like a meme joke, but for $20, it's not worth it for me for pay 20
Yeah.
bucks for an AI. So I mean, it all comes down to the player and if they really truly care about looks. Like that's all it comes down to.
Because for me, I'm not gonna say I have never spent money on the game like inside the shop. I have done that. I'm guilty of it. But for battle passes and stuff like that, I have never really bought a battle pass.
I think the
And
battle pass is worth it though. Like you do get more customization than I think people give it credit for.
right,
But and I think it's enough. I mean, I
but
don't think
buying
people are heavily spending a lot of time in the armor hall or whatever to rearrange their character armor.
Also,
right, but the thing is with battle pass is that battle pass does help you progress a lot faster instead of it not you having it. And would
No, it
that
doesn't
make
progress you faster. It
it
just lets
doesn't?
you
Okay.
unlock more items.
Okay, okay. Comparing to when you don't have it, you have to go through a shit ton of work to unlock those items.
No, you just don't get access to those items. You have to
bullshit.
rely on other events that they put out that you can get
Yeah.
those items for
Gotcha,
free.
gotcha. It's like
Which
basically
rare,
everything.
which is rare.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is at this moment, yes, it is rare.
Also, with the battle pass, there is a version that comes with extra levels.
Yeah,
Uh,
but for $50, I ain't paying for that shit.
yeah.
50 bucks?
Well, okay, it's I don't remember what the full cost is, but you need to pay it with the credits. But in order for you to reach the amount that they are asking for, you have to technically purchase $50 worth of credits to
Oh,
get
that's
that
fucking
much.
stupid.
Yeah, but
That's fucking Nika and Mamau.
Also, but
Fuck them.
but Sal, what about that Spider-Man armor that they have for $20?
Spider-Man or Iron Man? There's the Iron Man armor.
Yeah, just fucking with you.
Well, Ham, okay, Ham, what's your take on the multiplayer now?
I give me some more maps. God damn it! I know it just came out, but I feel like there's not enough maps, especially when what big team has three and two of them look similar. What else? The
Progression wise, is the progression okay for you?
it's good now, but you still have to focus on getting the challenges if you want to max out how much XP you want to, or to get as many
Yeah,
challenges,
but
get that many, how much XP. The progression now is that it does end in May, so I may consider getting because I know I'll get everything, and I'm gonna just equivate $10 to what 6 months? More is it 6 months or 5 months?
well, this first season is the only season that's going to be 6 months. After that, every season's going to be 3 months.
That's why I'll wait. Uh,
Okay,
and,
cool.
and maybe not get the battle pass. The
But
when
are you having fun so far overall with the multiplayer?
um, hmm, yeah, I would say yes. I just also don't like the fact that you can't pick what sort of specifically pick what kind of game style you want to play.
They're
It's
working on it.
it's still somewhat random, but
So as a new beginner, like I mean, not a new beginner like me, but I'm just saying for me to jump into Halo Infinite, um, do you think a person like me will enjoy Halo Infinite multiplayer with you guys or by myself?
oh, with us, of course you will. But
But
I
what
don't
about like solo?
I don't know. I mean, it's free to play, so
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I've always loved Halo multiplayer. So for me, playing solo, I still find it to be fun. But I mean, if Halo really was never your thing, and like you were more into like let's say Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever other shooters out there, then maybe you won't find playing Halo solo on your own as fun as what like maybe me or Ham thinks.
yeah, because it was pretty funny that I was playing and somebody had their audio. He was talking to maybe another person in a room, or I forget, but the kid was like, "Oh, that kill thing is so stupid." I'm like, "What are they talking about?" It's like, "Yeah, it's like something Kilimanjaro and whatever." I'm like, "Oh, these kids have played this before," and then they're like, "Where's the shoddy sniper? There's no shoddy snipers here." What? I'm like,
What
"Yeah,
the fuck?
you guys are new."
I mean, I've always enjoyed playing Halo multiplayer solo back in the day. I
Yeah,
think I stopped playing at Halo 4 because I don't know. I didn't like the multiplayer for Halo 4.
I like the multiplayer for Halo 5.
I didn't play Halo 5. I gave up.
All right. Well, we'll end it there for Halo because that actually lasted longer than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, you talk
But
about
I
crap.
think Halo's worth it. That's where I'll end it. For me, it's a green card, of course. And then yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
it's free
It's
Let's
a
for
green
now.
card for me too.
let's talk quick impressions about Boba Fett.
Go Cord.
Actually, it started very well. I was like, "Whoa, okay, here we go." So,
Yeah. The first episode. By the end of the first episode, I'm fairly confident to say that I liked the first episode more than I liked probably the entire set of Mandalorian.
whoa.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, because like I think what bothers me about the Mandalorian is again the whole child thing, the whole fact that we
Uh,
had a bounty hunter looking character who's supposed to have this sort of badass persona, but
Hmm.
then kind of gets dumbed down a bit and not as hardcore as he probably should have been presented throughout the entirety, or maybe was kind of initially teased in the trailers and whatnot. Like he's not Boba Fett, and I know that's probably the point, but still, it was kind of misleading. At least for me, it was misleading. Whereas opposed to here, I have this sort of perspective of Boba Fett and what my Boba Fett should be. And this first episode, I think, nailed it. And what I loved about the first episode really fleshes out the culture and community of Tatooine. And I think that was like the coolest thing to see, especially with how they kind of expanded that lore behind it. Because in the movies, they make the Tusken Raiders look like dumbass people, but in here, it's like, oh, there's actually a complex structure and this sort of like system built into them.
but Mando
So
first.
I really enjoyed watching that part. Although I do have one issue, which I think Ham is able to pinpoint, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys continue talking, and I'll bring up my issue later.
Uh,
Go ahead, him. I'll be last.
uh, yeah, it was fine. Blah blah blah. That I did notice that they were wearing sort of different gear, which I guess there's a bunch of them, but looked kind of weird. It looked kind of modern, but in the Mandalorian, it was the same kind of gear. So I don't know. Maybe they're just a different, quote unquote, Indian tribe or Native American.
Yeah,
Also, the funny thing was I was watching it and with subtitles, and it says they're talking. What was it? Uh, Tuscanese. I
yeah.
was like, oh, good to know, Tuscanese. Boba Fett was fine. They had the green guys. She was doing that. Yeah, that's the money. Uh,
So is it good or is it just fine for you?
I thought it was. I thought it was. I'd give it a green card. I mean, I saw Goro at the end.
Yeah. No spoilers.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Spoilers, everybody. Um, the dumbass pink guy. That's green guy. What? I don't know what was up with him. Fuck him. The little kid. Well, little Tuscan kid. Okay. Uh, yeah. I don't. I don't think I've. Yeah. I don't know.
No
Well,
negatives?
I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
Okay. Mike?
I thought the first episode was fine. I liked it a lot. I like that it's already different from Mandalorian. I mean, I love the Mandalorian. I am glad that it's not almost like Boba Fett. The Mandalorian is more of a honored with his clan, and I don't know. I've always seen the Mandalorian as a badass secret person, where moments where people take like underestimate him and they get punished for it, and that's what I love about it. And in this one, it's different. You know, it's something that we always wanted to see, and we've always like seen comics, and we've always made stories of how did Boba Fett survive from the sand monster's throat or belly, and it was actually pretty enjoyable. I will say I was a little underwhelmed with the red assassins. How his assistant, I forgot her name already,
Fennec.
Bennick, how she was able to like whoop so many of their asses, and and Boba Fett. I mean, Boba Fett was taking damage, and he was like hanging in there like a fucking boss. But I was hoping to see like a little more of a badass thing. But and then I just had to stop and realize, like, you know what, like he he was going against like ton of these red assassins that they were fucking just hammering him with electricity spears, and he was still trying to hold his own and everything like that. But I so far I do like how they're going back to flashbacks of what happened after episode 6, and getting to that point, and I'm looking forward to all the other episodes that are coming out and to see what else can they do.
Yeah. Now that you said flashback, that's not your problem, was it?
It's not a problem now, but just like
Mhm.
Arrow,
uh,
flashbacks were good. They were meaningful.
They
And
get
this one seems
repetitive.
like they're good and meaningful. I just don't want them to get to a point where they start just making up shit. Where we had Oliver Queen somehow end up in China or whatever to
yeah.
for some sort
Yeah.
of secret government thing, and then all of a sudden it goes back to the island, and it's like, what are you doing? Yeah, no, that's kind of my issue.
You
Is
want some?
that like it's like PTSD with these flashbacks. I swear, where I'm okay with it. It's fine. It was good. I love what they did with these flashbacks, but
Mhm.
I don't want them to overdo it. I just one season with flashbacks that okay, I'm gonna give you that pass. If you do a season 2 with flashbacks, you just better watch out because I will nitpick the shit out of that.
I think Arrow definitely fucking gave us PTSD because we're hanging like we've seen that show for so many years, and the flashbacks did get out of hand. Where it's like,
Hey,
all right, now you're
so,
creating shit now,
I finished.
Brandon.
So.
I think you're the only one that finished it. I refuse to finish it. I don't want to. I'm tired of flashbacks.
Well, it's 7 episodes.
That's
I've seen episode 2, and I have a lot more to say about episode 2. So we'll have to wait until we finish all 7 episodes, and we can finally give our full complete thoughts on the Book of Boba Fett. But
I
it's off
think
to a good start.
I
It's
think
off
it'll be
to
in
a
the
really good
middle of
start.
February. We'll talk about the whole entire
I was
series.
about to ask. Yeah, that puts us what around Valentine's Day, maybe.
I
Mm.
think so. Yeah.
That's for you, baby.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and finish this off
That
with
was
our main
romantic.
event, Cobra Kai season 4.
Oh,
Now, for anyone that's new listening to us, what we typically do is we give a card, and that card indicates how we kind of favor it. Kind of, this is why you've been hearing red cards or green cards throughout the episode so far. If we give it a green card, it means it's really, really good. Most likely means also that we'll probably watch it again if we had the choice to. A yellow card just means that it's so, it's okay, it's not terrible, but it's also not one of the greatest things in the world. It's just in between. And then the red card is going to be a very terrible put together sort of media, whether it's a very bad TV series with bad acting or a really bad movie with a very bad plot. We just completely hate it and don't want to see that movie again. And as a surprise, there is such a thing as a Becky card, but when we get to a Becky movie, I'll explain that card when we get there. All right, so Cobra Kai season 4. We'll go around telling what our cards are for this series for the season, and then we'll circle back around, starting with me talking about what we liked or disliked about this set of episodes. It was 10 episodes, right? 10 episodes.
10
Yeah.
episodes, yes.
All right, Mike. Cobra Kai season 4. What card are you gonna give it?
I'm in the mix between a red and a yellow. I guess the more we talk about it, I guess I might probably change it maybe or might keep it neutral. But so far, just watching it, a yellow card, close to a red, but it's right there. It's a yellow.
Ham, how about you?
Uh, I think this. And now, no, as you were talking, I was trying to think of if this was better than last season, and I'm trying to remember it. I feel like I'm gonna give it a yellow, but I feel like there was some parts better than last season, but also other parts worse. So there's that.
Yeah.
Well, this is gonna be awkward. I'm giving it a green card.
Ooh,
Oh my God. No
yeah,
taste.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but for me personally, I thought this was the best season they've had so far. I'm trying to figure out what you got. You know what? Let's not start with me. Let's start with Mike. You go ahead. What were the things that you disliked about this season?
Uh, where do I even start? So one of the main things, of course, of Cobra Kai, it's starting from all the way from season one of with Johnny and Daniel's son, right?
Uh-huh.
Where where last season where it was a
No, Miguel. Or
no, it's Johnny and Daniel, like their rivalry.
okay, but I mean, it was yeah, okay.
The focus was supposed to be on Miguel and Johnny, but Mike starting off with the two main characters from the movie. Yes.
Yeah, the two main characters. So that's what pretty much was the whole entire show was about. It's just those two, and then of course Miguel. But
I would disagree with that.
I don't know. Um, I I was looking forward to a more built-in chemistry between them. Because the whole entire from season one until now is always like it was just a bitter of like, oh my God, I hate you, and but you're so good at this, and I hate you, and I'm so good at this, and it was just more of the same exact thing, and I was just already getting tired of it, and it's getting repetitive already. Where okay, you guys hinted that you guys want to work together in this season, and I would have loved to see everyone like that. You know what I mean? Like everyone learns from each another. Like some of the people from Eagle Fang learn from a little bit of Miyagi, and from Miyagi learns from Eagle Fang, and we only get two people that really took that seriously, while the other ones were just like wasted characters just to fill in. And just the rivalry between them was just so stupid between them because of the whole thing with Miguel. And oh, spoilers, everybody.
Oh
Spoilers,
yeah,
spoilers,
spoilers, spoilers,
spoilers, spoilers,
Spoiler.
filled spoilers.
spoilers. Yeah. And it just got it was just more it just became more of the same exact thing as season one and two, between these guys, and instead of them focusing on actually Cobra Kai, right? And I don't know, I just felt like in the end it really didn't achieve anything except for just more pain and suffering for the kids, and both of these assholes are just selfish ass people. um and then you have, I think this was very underwhelming with Terry Silver coming back. It was very surprising. Not surprising. He was kind of hinted that he was coming back. Him coming back, it was just I don't know. It was more confusing of what's the purpose of him coming back, and of course it was just more of a Creed. I mean not Creed. Sorry. What's his name? Oh my god. Oh my god. The Cobra Kai guy.
Crease.
Kreese. Sorry. Oh yeah, I almost got it right. I said
Yeah,
Kreese.
he was.
Kreese. I know Kreese like called them to call for backup, to help him train these other students for the tournament and everything like that. And he somewhat came back, but as more of a snobby character of like a rich, peaceful person. And you don't really see him coming back all the way through, except for maybe the last three episodes, and him learning like him like telling Johnny to meet them at the old dojo, and then jumping him, and Kreese was like no and defending him. And I don't know, I just felt like it was just they didn't take a step forward at all with those two. It was just more of the same thing as season 3, and Kreese was just more of like you're trying to like not root for the guy, but the show is trying to make you root for him. So I was just more of just like I don't know, I just put him on the screen and I'll just watch him. I guess I don't know. He's just enjoyable to watch, I guess, because of just the history that you know about him. And then last but not least, just the little drama between the kids of the love interest. You have Miguel and he'll have like Daniel's daughter. They have a thing, but then she's in love with Roy, right? I forgot.
Roy?
Yeah.
Is it
Roy is it
Uh,
Roy or Ray?
Robert.
Ro-
Robbie.
is Ro-
Robbie. Robbie.
Robbie, sorry, Robbie. There we go. Robbie King, right? She has a love thing for Robbie, and then Miguel has a love thing for this other girl, and then Robbie has a love thing with the other girl, the one that jumps her, and it becomes all sort of just a mixed bag of shit, and then like I don't know, it just got so repetitive. It was just like it's the same shit, and just nothing new, and that's what bothered me. I wanted it to see more of a step forward, and the whole entire show from episode 1 to episode, I would say episode 1 to episode 7 is just more of just drama, just endless drama that I just didn't I just got tired of, where I've seen this already. I've seen this in the last 3 years, and there's nothing that's really changing. And then episode 8 and 9 is that what you're there for. It hooks you, and that's what I felt like, you know, it's supposed to. The fighting, of course, the fighting is
9
supposed
and
to.
10?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're. I mean, that's what everyone's was excited for, is to see the fighting. I was too, but I wanted a proper story leading up to it, and I felt like there was nothing good leading up to the fighting. So when the fighting came, it was just like finally now the show is starting to get good, I guess, or like episode 9 to 10. And the random kid story, the one that was getting bullied by Daniel's son, I feel like that was just so random, and I don't want more people to be introduced and to be included more story where it gets more dragged out. But the Hawk and Robbie fight was awesome. That was a good ass choreographed fighting. It was great. It was great. And of course, towards the ending of Cobra Kai of season 4, it was just more of we need to take down Cobra Kai. Oh, here we go again, bring in more people. So there's somewhat enjoyment moments in this show, but it's just to me it just dragged on, and I really didn't care as much as I did back then. I'll still stick with a yellow, but I don't know. Go ahead, him.
Fuck, I'm gonna hate myself. I agree with Mike. uh well, he said there was nothing new. There was new, like you mentioned, the younger kids, which I agree feels like it came out of left field. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I I I mean, there might have been a point maybe to get the son in the show, because as of the show goes on, it's like everyone had a boner for Miguel. It's like, no, I got Miguel. No, I got, and like, what's his name? Daniel's son, he's not paying attention to his kid. I think it took that many seasons for them to actually have a good talk or something. Uh,
Yeah,
what's his name? The main guy. What sort of Cobra Kai guy? I already forgot. Uh,
Crease.
Crease
oh yeah,
or
Nice,
Johnny.
Johnny. Yes, because Kreese is the other.
Johnny.
Talked about this. Scene that doesn't ever have scenes with his son until at the end for about a minute. Uh, what else? Who else?
And then you realize, like, oh, he really doesn't give a fuck about his son. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck his son. Go Miguel.
same thing. Miguel's dad. Now, spoilers. He's gonna go see him. Oh, I guess you didn't know, but still, whatever. Uh,
Guess
uh
he's gonna be a karate person now too.
yeah. Johnny's real dad. Johnny's fake dad. Uh, it's all about not caring about the son. Like even what's her face? Her mom's sick, so yeah. But there's just a lot of stuff. I'm just like, cool guys. I really want to touch with the new stuff. Kid was fine, like the acting, whatever. I do see a little point where uh Robbie was like, "Oh, I saw the intention in his eyes and my eyes was mirror." I'm like, "Okay, we get over it." The love triangle should be over by now. I think. Like, come on, what? Seriously, we're still in this. Uh, and my main thing is Johnny and Daniel-san. They really couldn't work together. The build up for last season was they're gonna work together, and they didn't. Like, where's the payoff? Like, so they don't work together because they really hate each other that much. Nah, they're like, fuck them kids. We gotta do it separately, knowing that the not reputation, but them not having a school anymore. It's on the line, and they're like, nah, we're gonna do it separately. Oh, by the way, yeah, the rush job of getting the girls another team. I think it was like 2 weeks before the tournament. It's like, yep,
Yeah,
that was stupid. Um, anything else? Uh, oh, yeah, when Daniel's daughter, what's her face?
Lori is her name. Lori.
Uh,
Can
stop.
you remember Cell?
I thought Lori was the mom.
I think so. I
Oh,
mean,
okay. Lori was the mom.
but even that, her like
I
butting in,
like her.
that was something weird, and the daughter being a bitch the entire season. Sorry, uh, I mean, she literally goes to her friend, which was in what, season 1 and 2, maybe.
I don't. It was just more a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, but she like goes with her friend, and her friend tells her this nice story about. And then I thought she was going to be a bully, and then we became best friends, and now we're BFFs. I know that you were the original BFF, but yeah. And then
Oh yes, yes, I know you're talking about.
yeah, but then she does the opposite. Like she doubles down. I'm like, oh, you better not mess with me, or else I'm coming. I'm like, her character's getting like the only redeemable part was her winning, or not even winning. She loses, but you find out blah 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 twist. Oh, and one more thing, and then I'll just stop. The what is it? The weird back and forth of fighting people outside of, let's say, uh, karate.
Hmm.
Like when Daniel's son fights the guys, I'm like, come on. He's always talking about Mr. Miyagi. He knows Mr. Miyagi would be pissed of shit just because they were saying stuff about his wife. And and at the end with Stingray, you see Stingray attack his neighbor, and people are cheering. Where at the end, I'm supposed to be sad or mad that he gets attacked by uh, not Reese, but no, the other guy. Yeah,
Oh, Silver.
was it Silver? Yeah.
Yeah, Terry Silver.
So I just I don't know. I I'd give it a yellow. It wasn't bad, but it's getting to the point, like you said, it's a little repetitive.
All right, so why did you think this is the best season?
Well, listeners, here's about 5 or 10 minutes of me wasting my breath. The whole, like, the one consistent thing that has always been with Cobra Kai is the idea of balance, and how where there's an up then there's a down. And in this episode it was very clear that wherever there was a character that kind of was giving rise to like a hopeful thing, so Tori for example, where even though she's been very dedicated to Cobra Kai, she has this sort of like inner conflict in herself of like, I want to do good things, like I want to be a good person, but my surroundings and everything don't allow me to be that way, because then it shows me as weak. And she sticks to that because it for her, she thinks that's what makes her better. And so even though we see this sort of hopefulness in Tori because she does go to the mom for help, we also kind of see a downfall of the other daughter of Danielson's daughter, who kind of was seen to be perfect but obviously is nowhere near perfect. She has all these sort of like inner emotional conflict and not wanting to live up to that perfection. She wants to get away from that image because she's tired of everyone saying the same damn shit of, oh, your dad's gonna get you out of this one, or Miss Perfect always gets her way. She eventually like she finally figures out for herself that she can't always have it her way, the way that she wants it to be. And even Johnny has that conversation with her and says, hey, stop being this pretentious little prick, like be like, fend for yourself, be your own person, stop trying to be this sort of perfect child that people think that you are. And I don't I disagreed with everything that you said, Mike, because it didn't make sense. Like, we saw the training happen. We did see them do some Eagle Fang training. It was more of a montage style.
Yeah,
Sure, maybe would have liked a couple episodes, but I think in order to fit it's like all that they did in the 10 episodes, I think they did it fine. And we did see Eagle Fang did train Miyagi style, where they're trying to catch the koi in the pond, and they had to figure out how to challenge that, and they had to figure out their balancing and all and whatnot. Like,
Right, right.
and like
But
and it makes sense. Like,
mhm.
I actually like the fact that they did not see eye to eye initially.
that's
Like, I get it, the buildup was to be, oh my gosh, these two are coming together, they're gonna be
yeah.
awesome. But think about how really tropey that would have been. Oh, here's these two opposites coming together to form one single entity. Now they win because that's how the world works. I think for me, that would have been extremely boring and predictable. And so I'm glad that they still stuck with the fact that these two have so many issues with each other that they can't see eye to eye until we finally get the episodes where they finally cave in and we're like, okay, fine. I will do Eagle Fane as long as you do Miyagi-Do. And we get those good kind of character moments where Danielson gets to do aggressive shit. He's like, and it was a funny montage where he's like trying to pull himself up on the chain. He's trying to do his push-ups with his fists. And we get that fight with the bullies at the hockey game, because if it wasn't for Johnny, he would have not has said shit. Like, literally, Danny would have just walked away from it. When in reality, you should be defending your girl. So that's what Johnny kind of pushes him to do. It's like, what are you gonna do? Let them talk about your girl like that? Nope. And no, he goes fights them. He does what Johnny would have done.
I think that's
And
a good line, or it's like, "Don't be there" or whatever.
yeah, that I did like that line. And then we get Johnny, who does defend himself sort of Miyagi style, where he does not only just the moves, but he kind of starts understanding that not every situation has to be resolved with a fight. So they did learn from each other. And yes, it took all the way up until episode 10 for them to finally agree and say, hey, you've learned, to the daughter, you've learned from us, from both of us, the best of both worlds, so utilize that and form your own style. And that, I thought, what made the fight a lot more interesting, the fact that Tori couldn't really defend for herself, or kind of struggle to how to approach her, because it was different than what she's used to, because it's always been either Eagle Fane or Miyagi Do, but now this is an entirely third new option here, and like, how do we approach that? So I felt like that kept the tournament on its toes a little bit, at least that specific fight scene between the two girls. Um, the whole Silver storyline is a bit odd at first, and
Yeah.
if we took Silver out of it, I think there would be no sort of interesting notion about Kreese, because from season 3, or even right, yeah, season 3, when Kreese was introduced, he's just always like this evil like guy. Like there's nothing redeeming
Yeah.
about him. Even when we get his like flashbacks with his time in the war, it's like, I don't really feel sorry for him. And we always think that he has this set mind of like, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to pursue, and nothing's going to change that. When we finally get this moment, a kind of vulnerability behind Kreese, where he's not all that he appears to be, because he does care to an extent. So maybe this isn't an agenda of him having this sort of organization because of the fame, because of the popularity, because of the glory. It's because he really wants to try to prove to Johnny that he had the best intentions for him. It's kind of like the tough love situation, because for all we know, Johnny never really had a father. Well, yeah, Johnny never had a father figure, and Kreese was the only one. And to kind of see that Kreese did have that, like that care for Johnny, I thought was kind of a big step for Kreese's character development, because otherwise people would just be like, oh, he's just the main bad guy, and then just get away and just be done with that. So I like that interaction of, or at least how Silver kind of brought that out of Kreese and showed us that. And so it'd be kind of interesting going forward in season 4, what will happen with Kreese and what his response is going to be now that Silver's kind of the one in charge. Um, I I would I will agree to some of an extent that, yeah, the whole love triangle bullshit is bullshit. I mean,
Yeah.
but you got to remember, these kids are in high school. And I actually, there was a line that was said in the show where I was like, why is this written? Like, this character is just dumb. It's the dumb Asian jock. And I was like, why are you lying
Oh
so
yeah.
bad? And then he finally, it clicked. I was like, oh wait, you're still a high school kid. Like, you're still an idiot.
Yeah.
Like of course that is a typical high school thing.
Oh,
I
he
mean,
has.
these are kids that
Yeah.
we're trying to still make sure that we understand that they're going through high school shit. So just because they're involved in karate or in this sort of clan war, whatever's going on, doesn't mean that they don't still live their teenage like lifestyles. Like, they still have to worry about things like prom. They still have to worry about things like bullying and what they do when they encounter each other outside of those situations. So I appreciated those moments that we got. Yeah, they were cringy. Yeah, they were like really, really kind of like unbearable to watch, but that's just high school drama shit. And that is kind of that is what I wanted compared to season 3, where my complaint about season 3 was focused, I think, way too much on Johnny and Danny, because I thought this show initially was supposed to be about handing it kind of off like this legacy to the younger generation. And season 1 and season 2 did a good job on that. But then season 3 was like, let's forget about the kids, and let's just kind of not put them in the spotlight, focus only on these two characters because these two are the money makers here. Where I didn't like that route. If I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
just see these two characters, I just go back and watch Karate Kid 1 and 2. I don't need to have this season 3 of Cobra Kai. Where season 4 definitely, I think, was more heavily focused on the kids, and you could see their influences, Danny and Johnny's influence on these kids, when they couldn't agree to shit, when they couldn't focus on the training. They suffered as well, and they weren't probably as fully prepared as they could have been for the tournament. And it just sucked overall for like to see them have to go through that. But again, that's what happens. And I like the son. Yeah, maybe it shouldn't have taken 4 seasons for them to actually have a conversation, but I kind of saw that as like, I got to a point where it's like, why aren't we focusing more on his like kind of view on the kids? And I think that's what the season was trying to point out, is that he's so wrapped up in this rivalry that he's been neglecting his kids, which is why his daughter starts kind of going to the dark side, or his son is essentially becoming the bully, because his
Yeah.
influence is not there anymore. So he's not there to guide them the way that Miyagi would. And so that essentially kind of unleashes the cage, or yeah, releases the cage, or the animals out of the cage for them. They go down that route. Um, I'm trying to think. I want to say that there's something going on with Johnny and Robbie, where Johnny, it was very very quick. I think there should have been more to those two characters that led up to the ending, but I think there was a good sort of progress there where Robbie realizes that yeah, he's also fucked up and he has to stop blaming his dad for everything because he needs to realize that he's responsible for his own choices. And that's something that I think even he said to Tori, where he's like, you know, you make these choices. Like, this is you that's deciding this. And I think he finally realized that for himself. So it'd be interesting what they do with his character now going forward, whether they utilize him as much as they have been or not at all. But I think that's it was kind of like a good resolution to to at least him in this season. Um, the mom,
Mm.
I like that the mom had more of a spotlight in
Um,
this season because she's always been kind of casted aside.
yeah.
Don't you know, you don't really care for her, but you know she's kind of going through the same shit where she's trying to protect her children or her daughter, but at what cost? You know, she finally realizes that she fucked up, that she messed up Tori's life. She had her fired from her job, and now she's working somewhere else where she's feeling very embarrassed, and the mom is taking all the blame for it because this is her fault. She approached her at her job and was aggressive about it and didn't think about the consequences thereafter. So I like that, you know, we are now seeing also the impacts to her and what she's kind of going through and all of this whole mess. So there was just a lot I liked. I think a lot of things that were approached that they didn't beforehand, that I think season three felt very too safe, that they just capitalized on what they believe made them the most money for that season. And now they were like, you know what? We have other characters that we need to also focus on. And I think that's what season four did. They definitely
Mm.
put more spotlight on those other characters.
All
Also,
right.
guys like the two what is it? End credit scenes are basically in the twists, I should say.
Oh, that Daniel, he called the guy from season 3. He's like, "Hey, I need your help."
Oh, even that. No, I was talking about the
Yeah.
one before with the cops, and then the one about the cheating.
Oh, the Chini thing, I felt like that was coming though. Like it
Really?
seemed like it's like it was kind of hinted, I felt like throughout the thing where it was like, because they keep calling out the refs. They're like,
Yeah.
"Ref, what are you doing?" Like, "Ref, what are you doing?" I'm like, did someone buy them out? Like, I feel like someone paid them, and that makes
Oh
sense that
yeah.
Silver was the one that tipped them off.
Mm-hmm. And also too, in fucking high school, I don't remember having a fucking Ferrari and just like
Oh yeah, he did say
popping my
body
cherry in it.
whatever.
You know what I
Silver
mean?
handed that to him.
Yeah.
Silver gave him that as a way of putting like some sort of psychological warfare to Miyagi Do.
Well, I wish he did that to me because I would have fucking done it.
But yeah, you were saying about how they're in high school. I'm like, yeah, who? What? No, that's weird.
What?
The old guy giving them a car, like to basically have a good time, quote unquote.
It
Well,
And
is.
well,
But when
technically,
when
Silver failed on that because Robbie. Honestly, I will say that he lost that tournament on purpose.
on purpose.
Yeah, like Robbie, he was fighting Hulk and he had a chance to to uh to score the point, and then he looked up and then he saw what was that kid's name, Kevin, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
because he finally realizes what he's becoming. He's becoming exactly what Johnny and Danny has been warning him this whole time. He's
yeah,
becoming
but
more and more like Kreese. So when he sees that this kid, who was the most innocent, most pure kid you could have ever met, has now become this aggressive sort of like, you know, a bully where he's all about hurting other people. Robbie then realizes at that point, holy shit, what have I done and what have I become that led him to this?
yeah, but at the same time, I feel like nobody influenced him, or not even Silver or even Crease. I felt like he already knew that himself, but he was just denying it himself. Like it was his own decision, his own making, and in the end, he noticed like his own mistakes. But I felt like the other people around him, where the show was trying to make you believe that they are the ones that put things inside of him, like in his mind. I didn't see that. I just felt like, okay, he knew this all along and he was just denying it. But I
Right,
didn't
because he was
see.
so wrapped up in hating his father that he didn't care. He thought it's
Yeah,
the phrase goes like, how long do you play the game until you become part of the game? And that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to play off both sides for so long, thinking that he could manage it. And yes,
hmm
like it would, the show is trying to make it seem like it's putting blame on everyone else. But that's why that whole moment at the end of the season, when he realizes, he comes to confession to his dad, I fucked up, like I thought I could do this and now I can't. And that's that moment of realization. That's that moment of clarity. So it's there. It's I don't know. For me, that was crystal clear to me.
I don't know. I felt like it was lacking a bit for me on my part. I don't know. And then honestly, the true training between of balancing with Eagle Fang and Miyagi was with only Hulk and his daughter.
Those were the only ones that actually had. Well,
Like,
no, Hawk Hawk didn't do anything with Miyagi deal. Remember, it was Miguel that actually caught the koi, not Hawk.
no, I no. I know that, but then Miguel, he went to go do the Ryu spin up 360 tornado kick, and he pulled the muscle and stuff like that. But Hulk was the one that sort of towards the end he sort of trained a little bit with Miyagi with Daniel.
Right.
But then Daniel's like, no, don't worry about that. You just suck at Miyagi. Go do your Cobra Kai stuff, and that's what he did. But I felt like at least, well, then if you put it that way, then the daughter is the only one that got really good training compared all to the other ones.
Because she was the one that pursued it. Remember, she snuck out of school to attend these
And that's
trainings
what
with
I think.
Johnny.
And that's the thing that I felt like that sucked. I wish everybody had done that. I would have loved for everybody to train that way, and in Cobra Kai to get even stronger, and we would have like a really cool epic battle how we did with Robbie and Hulk. I
Not
don't know. That's just
everyone,
me.
not everyone had the same mentality as her. I mean, because remember, they're for 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 whatever reason, they're these set of kids are like very loyal to who they started off with. I mean, besides obviously Miguel and the daughter, like
Yeah,
everyone else is like, yeah, okay, I'm Eagle Fane, yeah, I'm Miyagi Do, and this is the sides that we stick to.
yeah. I don't know. It's just like what what Ham said. Everybody had a hard on for Miguel, where they were putting Miguel on the pedestal, and I guess Miguel. I will say that I will give credit where Miguel felt the most pressure out of everybody, and that's where he was just like, you know what, fuck it, I quit.
But yeah, he was all that pressure, he was the most used. And that's the thing. Like he starts to lose, like, I don't want to say self identity because I think that's kind of exaggerating this point. It's just more of like he's not sure anymore of what is going on and how to approach it. Because for the longest time he looked up to Johnny, but we get this brief moment, which should have been expanded, brief moment of like Johnny saying all these like wonderful things, but it wasn't really to Miguel, it was to his son because he was super drunk, like at thinking there. And that sucked for Miguel because Miguel's supposed to start looking at him as a father figure because he's dating now his mother. So it sucked for him in that sense. And then we see that the Danny's daughter is kind of maybe still possibly having feelings for Robbie. And so now Miguel's not really sure about his relationship with her. And so
Oh
that's
yeah, the
kind of like out
triangle
of
is
the loop.
bullshit.
And then maybe Miguel might still have feelings for Tori. Again, that stupid love triangle that you guys hate, but it's still fucking with his mind. And so he was kind of casted to the side this season, I felt like, and not necessarily like the central main person like he has been, which is, I think, kind of the point of the perspective, which is why now we lead up to a season that's probably is going to focus now more on him or back to him because he's going to start looking for his father. And who knows what that's going to mean? Who knows who his father really is?
To be honest, I would like for this season to be the last season.
I would disagree. I still not that season 4 picked up for me because I did not like season 3 as much as I
Right.
liked the other seasons. I still would like to see this continue. I think what's probably hurting this series as a whole is that the seasons are coming out too and far between. Like season 3 came out last New Year's. Season
Yeah.
4 came out a year after. But the problem is we have all these episodes available to us that we can just binge. It's not like they're spread apart and we have like time in between the process. And then we have time like not that much of a wait time afterwards to wait for the next season. It's nope. Here's day one. You watched them all. Now you got to wait a full year to watch another set. And I think that's what's probably hurting the continuity of these seasons.
And I don't think they mentioned or announced that this was going to be the last season or not. I think they're planning to make other seasons more after season 5.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Got you. All right. So I guess that's 2 yellows and 1 green.
Good. No one gives a red. That's fine by me. I'll settle for yellows.
Okay.
All right, now social media wise, I'm gonna help Mike out on this one because he has to learn a whole new script because we have changed our social media handles. We're no longer drunk cop and a teacher, although for one of the social media handles it might still say drunk cop and teacher. We're still working on that, but our new handle should be WRMA Cast, whose review matters anyway, as an acronym and then ending with the word cast. So again, that's WRMA Cast. You can find us on Twitter and on Instagram. And our logo, or at least our profile picture, is just the phrase whose review matters anyway with the model. Bless you.
Thank you.
With the model of like someone thinking and they're like leaning on a question mark. It should be very obvious, I would hope. The YouTube channel has not been changed yet, although that is still being worked on. But again, everything is switching over to WRMA Cast. So hopefully by the end of this month that will be all completely aligned.
Yes, hopefully. But we're working on it, and we're planning to do more bigger things. So I guess interviews and having special guests to do reviews with us too. Probably get Berserk or Barbarian,
Sure.
whatever his name is.
Oh, you mean Barbarian?
Yeah, Barbarian. That's what I meant. Yeah, Barbarian.
Jesus Christ.
We'll get a couple more people in here, and probably, hopefully in the future, celebrity guests, maybe.
Mike's promising way too many things. Let's be clear. Mike is promising those things, not me or him. Just
Well, I'm a
throwing that out there.
celebrity, so I'm already counted.
All right. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what we're watching next week, but we don't have time to really get into it and start thinking about it. So we're just gonna end it here. And on that note, good night, everybody, or good
Good night,
morning, or good
guys.
afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this. Be safe out there, and hopefully you don't get COVID like Mike.
Like me. Fuck, it sucks. Take care, guys.